Hello friends, welcome to PowerBookSummaries. Have you ever wondered why someone risks their life by going hundreds of feet deep into a dark cave? Why does someone climb dangerous cliffs without ropes, or surf giant ocean waves without any protection? Are these people crazy? Or do they possess something truly special? This is the story of such individuals, people we call the world's greatest risk-takers. But there's something unique about them. They don't just take risks blindly. They understand risk. They manage risk. They don't fear it. They make friends with it. One such man is Dr. Richard Harris, an anesthetist and an expert cave diver. In this book, he shares the story of one of the most dangerous rescue missions in history, and many other real-life accounts of elite risk-takers around the world. Each story teaches us one powerful truth. Taking risks is not foolishness. It's an art. The book opens with a moment of crisis, when 12 boys and their coach were trapped inside a flooded cave in Thailand. Torrential rain outside. Dark, water-filled tunnels inside. Time was running out, and every second brought them closer to death. Richard Harris was called in, not because he was fearless, but because he was prepared. This was no ordinary dive. It was a mission between life and death. But Harris said yes because he understood risk deeply. He had faced death many times in his life. He says the most important part of taking risk is preparation. Before every mission, he spends hours researching, thinking deeply, imagining every possible outcome, and mentally conditioning himself. According to Harris, the biggest risk is the one taken without planning. The real art is in recognizing the risk, understanding it, and then creating a plan to face it. He says, risk is only valuable when it's combined with planning and training. So how do we handle fear, which is always a part of risk? Harris explains, fear can't be eliminated, but it can be controlled through experience, practice, and faith in oneself. He shares the story of a base jumper who jumps from thousands of feet wearing only a wingsuit. When Harris asked him, "Don't you get scared?" the man replied, "Of course I do, but fear keeps me focused. If I ever stop being afraid, I'll make a mistake. And in my sport, mistakes mean death." This hit Harris deeply. We shouldn't run from fear, we must embrace it. We must feel fear and act anyway. He then meets Alex Honnold, the world-famous free solo climber, who scales massive cliffs without any rope or protection. Alex is incredibly inspiring because he moves with total presence. His entire focus is on the now, what to do in this exact moment. Harris explains that great risk-takers are deeply mindful. They have intense focus and the confidence to make split-second decisions based on the situation. But Harris also believes risk is different for everyone. What is dangerous for one person may be routine for another. That's why it's crucial to know your comfort zone and slowly push its boundaries. Another powerful lesson in the book is about teamwork. Harris says the Thailand cave rescue succeeded because of meticulous team planning. Every team member was carefully selected. Every role was clearly defined. Everyone knew what to do. When the real mission began, no one panicked. Everyone executed their job, and all 12 boys and their coach were rescued safely. The world called it a miracle. But Harris disagrees. He says it was the result of planning, preparation, and smart decisions. He also reminds us, risk isn't only an adventure. Risk is everywhere in life. Starting a new job, launching a business, entering a relationship, or facing an old fear. These are risks too. But when we take these risks with awareness, with preparation, we turn them into opportunities. He shares an example of a surgeon who handles very complex operations. Before each surgery, this doctor tells himself, "I can do this." This self-talk builds confidence and helps him stay calm in the toughest situations. This teaches us, talk to yourself positively, stay mentally balanced, and you'll be able to take better risks. One of the most important lessons Harris gives us this: risk-taking is not an inborn trait. It's a skill anyone can learn. With patience, preparation, and smart thinking, anyone can become a great risk taker. Next, Harris talks about the role of discipline, habits, and intuition in risk-taking. Every elite risk-taker shares one thing: extreme discipline. Without discipline, risk becomes recklessness. Whether it's cave diving, rock climbing, or surfing giant waves, they all train their body and mind before stepping into danger. Discipline is the power that keeps you calm in chaos. It helps you survive even when the smallest mistake can cost everything. Harris teaches, before taking any risk, ask yourself one question: am I fully prepared? If yes, go ahead. If not, step back. Because taking risk is bravery, not foolishness. Let's talk about habits. Every risk taker builds habits that support excellence. A solo climber practices grip strength for hours. A cave diver checks his equipment repeatedly. A pilot studies the checklist every single time. These small habits shrink even the biggest risks. And then there's intuition, the inner voice many ignore. In many situations, when logic fails, intuition takes over. Harris shares a story about a big wave surfer who faced a massive, terrifying wave, but his gut told him, this wave isn't for you. He stepped back. Seconds later, the wave crashed violently into the shore. Had he gone in, he might not have survived. The story shows taking risk is brave, but recognizing danger, that's even braver. Sometimes victory lies in knowing when to go forward and when to stop. Risk opens new doors, but the right risk, taken at the right time, leads to success. The book repeatedly emphasizes, great risk takers never act without preparation. They treat fear as a companion, not an enemy. And they learn from every single risk they take. At the end of the day, risk isn't about doing dangerous things. Real risk is when you step outside your comfort zone, meet your real self, and become stronger. This book teaches us that risk-taking is a learnable art, one that helps you grow, evolve, and find your true potential. Whenever someone prepares to take a major risk, they first prepare their mind, because the real battle is not outside. The real battle is inside, against your fear, your doubt, and your hesitation. If you win that inner war, the outer battles become easy. Harris shares that risk takers often practice visualization. They mentally rehearse the situation again and again. A cave diver imagines every move, how he'll enter the water, when he'll use which tool, what turns he'll take, and how he'll come out safely. This visualization calms the mind and prepares it for real danger. They also take their mistakes seriously. They don't see failure as weakness. They see it as feedback. One diver once made a small error that could have cost his life, but he survived and then spent days analyzing what went wrong. He fixed it in his training and never repeated it again. Every mistake is a chance to grow if you accept it with honesty and improve. One final core teaching of this book is self-awareness. Risk takers always know their strengths and weaknesses. They never fool themselves. If something is beyond their limit, they say no without hesitation. Because bravery isn't doing everything, it's knowing your limits and acting wisely. These expert risk takers also share one more powerful trait. They are excellent listeners. They genuinely value the voices in their team because they understand no risk is ever taken alone. A strong team can help navigate even the most dangerous threats. During the Thai cave rescue, no decision was taken alone. Every team member's opinion was heard, respected, and included, because everyone has a different point of view. And the best plans are born when every perspective comes together. Now you may ask, can anyone learn to take risks? The answer is yes. Risk-taking isn't magic, it's a skill. A skill you can develop with practice, wisdom, and dedication. The book suggests starting small. Learn a new skill, start a small project, face a tiny fear. Once you master these small steps, handling bigger risks becomes much easier. In the end, it's important to remember, taking risk is life. Those who never take risks never discover their full potential. Risk moves us forward. Risk takes us beyond our limits. Risk makes us into who we're meant to be. Now, let's look at how top risk takers prepare both their body and mind so they don't break under pressure. First, the body. Risk takers treat their body like a tool, like a craftsman treats their most valuable equipment. They train daily, building strength, stamina, and flexibility. They eat mindfully because they know a tired body will lead to a tired mind. And a tired mind can't handle pressure. Now, the mind. They train their brain to remain calm. They meditate. They do breathing exercises. They regularly imagine dangerous situations and rehearse how they would respond. This mental training sharpens their decision-making in real danger. One unique thing about great risk takers is their patience. They know risk must be taken at the right time. The book shares a story of a mountaineer who realized he was on the wrong path during a climb. Instead of panicking, he stopped and asked himself, "If I move forward, can I handle it?" He waited. That patience saved his life. True risk takers are always learning. They learn more from failures than from success. They analyze their mistakes, improve, and grow stronger each time. They also carefully choose their environment. They surround themselves with people who inspire, support, and guide them. Because they know negative people can sabotage decisions. Risk-taking isn't learned in a day. It's a journey. One where you learn, grow, and discover your true strength. Risk teaches you how to overcome fear. And if you learn this art, no goal will be out of reach. Every great risk taker understands risk is an opportunity to test yourself, to prove yourself, and to become stronger. With every risk, there are only two outcomes. Either you succeed or you learn something that makes you better. One rescue diver says, "After every mission, I ask myself, what did I learn today?" They treat every risk as a training ground, which helps them improve constantly. They believe in detailed planning. They never rush. They consider every angle, every possibility, and then act. Only when they're fully prepared. That preparation transforms risk into opportunity. Another important quality is flexibility. Risk takers don't stubbornly stick to one plan. They remain alert and adapt as conditions change. A base jumper once saw the winds change right before a jump and immediately canceled. He said, "An opportunity is only real when the timing and method are right. Otherwise, it's just danger." Risk takers always have clarity of purpose. They ask themselves, will this risk take me closer to my goal? If yes, they go forward. If no, they stop without hesitation. They also use fear as a guide, not an enemy. Fear is a signal. It warns us. But if we let it control us, it can hold us back. So, the best risk takers learn from fear, but never let it dominate them. And finally, the art of taking risk teaches us one powerful truth. No great achievement comes without risk. Every successful person has taken risks at some point, but they did it with planning, understanding, and confidence. That's the real art we all must learn. To turn fear into strength, and every risk into a step toward success. Before we end, there's one more lesson. Top risk takers know how to maintain balance. As important as it is to take bold risks, it is just as important to balance your personal and professional life. They understand their priorities. They know when to focus on work and when to focus on family, peace, and inner well-being. The book tells the story of a famous cave diver known for his extreme missions. But after each mission, he spends a few days with his family to ground himself. He says, "Risk gives me adrenaline, but peace and happiness come from loved ones. And that peace prepares me for the next mission." They also practice self-care. They respect their mental and physical health, get proper rest, eat well, meditate, and pursue hobbies that refresh their mind, because they know, without self-care, even the strongest mind will eventually break. The next time you face a risk, face it with full energy and focus. One more trait that sets risk-takers apart from the rest is their practice of gratitude. After every successful mission, they thank themselves and their team. They recognize that success isn't the result of just their own effort. It includes the support of their team, their friends, and their family. This gratitude keeps them grounded and protects them from arrogance. The book also highlights how real risk-takers acknowledge their emotions. If they're afraid, they admit it. If they're tired, they pause. If something feels too difficult, they ask for help without hesitation. Because they know, true strength doesn't come from pretending to be fearless. It comes from recognizing your weaknesses and working on them. They live by one powerful mantra: don't let risk control you. Let risk be the road to your purpose. They see risk as excitement, not anxiety, but they always make decisions with a calm and focused mind. They believe taking risks is necessary for growth, but risk should never become your identity. Life is much bigger than just risk, and every moment deserves to be lived with passion and presence. The biggest takeaway from this book is this: risk is an art, and to master this art, we must work on ourselves every single day. We must make fear our friend, learn from our failures, and live a life of balance, so we're always ready to face the next challenge. True risk-takers always consider themselves students of life. They believe there's no limit to learning, and every risk should teach them something new. They treat every experience as a stepping stone that makes them stronger. These people often ask themselves, what did I learn today? Am I better than I was yesterday? Is this risk pushing me forward or just giving me a thrill? Such questions keep their inner fire alive and motivate them to keep moving ahead. Another powerful habit they have is stepping outside their comfort zones. They understand that if they only do what they've always done, they'll only remain who they've always been. So they face their fears and turn them into strength. To them, fear is the first step of growth. That's why every new risk becomes a ladder that takes them closer to their purpose. They think long-term. They never tie the value of a risk to instant success or failure. They know each risk, whether small or big, adds a new chapter to their life story. This mindset keeps them inspired, and once again, gratitude. These individuals never take success for granted. They thank life, their mentors, their teams, and their families for every opportunity, every lesson, and every win. This keeps them humble and fuels their passion with purpose. True growth happens when you challenge your limits, when you go to places you've never imagined, do things you've never done, and become someone you never thought you could be. That's why these people become better and better, risk after risk. They see it as their duty to share their experiences, not just their victories, but also their failures. Because they know their stories might help someone else gather courage, might spark someone's next big step. They tell young people, fear is not wrong, but moving past fear is necessary. They believe risk should always be taken mindfully, with preparation and clarity. Their message is clear. Risk doesn't mean jumping without thinking. It means evaluating the situation, preparing fully, and then moving forward with full confidence. They also teach that teamwork makes even the biggest risks manageable. With the right people by your side, even the impossible becomes possible. This book shares many stories of such teamwork, where strong, united teams achieved miracles. Because shared experiences lead to shared learning, and every mission becomes a lesson for everyone involved. They see risk-taking as a responsibility to inspire, motivate, and lead by example. Their message? Don't fear risk, understand it. Don't avoid risk, prepare for it. Make risk your friend and watch your life transform. In the end, these individuals teach us, risk doesn't just change your life, it changes your mindset. It strengthens your spirit, and it brings you face to face with who you really are. Risk introduces you to your real strength, and once you learn the art of risk, no dream is too far. So remember, risk is not a wild obsession or blind gamble. It's the result of wisdom and preparation. To truly grow, break your limits, and discover your full potential, you must take risks. But only those risks that are guided by self-awareness, calm planning, and real understanding. A true risk taker is someone who recognizes fear, but doesn't let it control them, learns from every mistake, and turns failures into victories, trusts their team, their strategy, and most of all, themselves. This book teaches us that risk doesn't come to break you. It comes to build you, to make you stronger, to introduce you to your highest potential. If you master this art, no fear can stop you, and no destination will be out of reach. That's the real art of risk, which can give your life a new direction and help you fulfill dreams you once thought were impossible. So, what about you? What is that one risk in your life that you've been avoiding, but now feel ready to face with courage and clarity? Tell us in the comments below. If you found value in this video, like, share, and subscribe to PowerBook Summaries, your go-to channel for daily motivational book summaries, every morning at 8 a.m. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.